Hi, my name is Mitch Stephen, and I've bought a house about every 4 to 5 days for over 2 decades. That's about 100 houses a year and over 2,000 houses in my career. But hey, who's counting? What I want to talk to you about today is a question I get asked all the time. Do I need a real estate license to flip houses? I'll get you the answer here in just a minute. Should you get your real estate license to flip houses? Well, this is going to be one of those questions like a lot of questions in life. There is no real yes or no answer. It mostly depends on you. So, let's go through the pros and cons of flipping houses with a license and without. If a house flipper wants to have a real estate license, there's probably 3 reasons why. One is they need access to the MLS system, the multiple listing system, where all the data for the solds and the pendings and the for sales are listed. It's a valuable set of data, but there's other ways to get it in most cases. Number 2, they want to save from having to pay commissions because they have a license. They can cut the commission in half, saying, I want to buy that house, but I'm a realtor. I have my license. So when the 6% has to be paid for this sale, I want half of that sale, or I want it taken off the sales price. And then last but not least, and the most obvious, they would want the license so that they could earn commissions every time they go to buy a house. If they went to buy a house that was listed in the MLS system, then they would be due a commission from the purchase. They would just say, hey, I'm the buyer, I'm also a licensed agent, and I want my commission from the seller when this sale goes through. By the way, I'll be down there to buy it in a few minutes. So that's at least 3 reasons why. Now we're going to talk about why you wouldn't want a license. There's at least 3 reasons why you wouldn't want a real estate license and flip houses at the same time. Number 1 is real estate licenses take time. They're expensive. There's dues every month, every quarter. There's things you have to pay to keep current. There's also insurance that you have to pay. It's called errors and omissions insurance. And depending on the broker that you're with, there may be monthly fees for the office and your share of whatever the overhead is. There's also continuing education. It's a pain in the you-know-what. You're just going along, and before you know it, a year's gone by, and you have to go sit in a class and take these courses so you can continue to increase your continuing education credits. Not fun, especially when you've drifted off and you're killing it in the real estate investing department, and now you got to put on the brakes, stop what you're doing, and go sit in a class for 4 days. Not fun. Last but not least, but the most important of all, is the liability of having a license. There's a saying in our industry, the real estate investing industry. Having a real estate license is having a license to get sued. Everyone knows if you're a realtor and you have a license, which by the way, you have to declare all the time. You can't fill out one piece of paper as a licensed agent or broker and not declare that to the world that you are in fact a licensed agent and broker with your number right there below. The people I know that do flip houses that have a license, they do well, they do fine. I know people that both ways. I don't have a license. I know plenty of people that do have a license. When you have a license, you really need to be a little more careful. But then I think it's really not more careful. You just need to treat people like you should treat them anyways. Make sure you're honest and fair and disclose everything that you know that they need to know. I really don't see that big a problem. It's just that it's kind of hard sometimes to go into someone who wants to list their house with you, and then you want to get in a conversation about, well, I'll just buy your house. It's like a little conflict of interest. So you have to be very careful to recognize when you're getting into conflict of interest positions. It's not hard once you go through it, but you'll learn to recognize them. Most of the people I know that have licenses that flip, they've been sued a couple of times. Some of them have dropped their license because of that. Some of them just said, I make way too much money with this license side of my business that it wasn't that bad. I had the insurance, I went through the BS and they stay with it. So it's a personal preference. Now we're going to talk about people that do both. And now I'd like to talk about, should you really try to do both? Be a real estate agent and be a house flipper. I'm not talking about just have a license so that you can save on commissions and MLS dues and all this stuff. I'm talking about, do you really want to try to do both? Be a realtor and go show people houses and go list houses and also flip houses. I'll tell you a little bit of this about that. I don't see how anyone in the world would do both. You'd have to be some kind of special kind of ADD to want to work a full-time real estate career and a full-time real estate investing career. Either career can take everything you have. And I don't think that you're going to be any good at either one of them if you're dividing your time. If you're going to be a good realtor, then be the best realtor. And don't let there be any distractions. And go figure out how to make millions of dollars being a realtor. And if you want to be in the creative real estate investing industry, then get over there. And don't let anything sidetrack you off of that. And learn how to make millions in that industry. But to do both, again, it would take a really special kind of person. And I don't think there's that many people in the room that can do it. Okay, so we were talking about MLS dues and access to the MLS and what kind of great data that is and that you really need it and that sometimes there's other ways to get it. But really, the MLS data is the best and typically superior. So in my book, My Life in 1,000 Houses, 200 plus ways to find bargain properties, I actually have a chapter on how to talk to realtors and get them to give you access to their MLS. It's a conversation worth having. If you can get that through a realtor, it could be both good for you and the realtor. And I'll explain it to you in that chapter. All you have to do is go to 1000houses.com, order my book, 200 plus ways to find bargain properties, and you'll find that chapter in there. And it could save you a fortune every month in MLS dues.